Hey guys and gals, we're continuing on our NBA podcast previews. This time we're talking about the Orlando Magic.
Yeah, so last year, too great of a team. They went 25 and 57 and missed the playoffs. And addition-wise, they were able to draft Mario Hezonja. They basically picked up Shabazz Napier for nothing. I think it was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
They were able to sign Jason Smith, who could be a good Kyle O'Quinn replacement. They got an energy guy, Craig Steamsma, and in a pretty puzzling move, they signed C.J. Watson to like a 3-year, $6 or $7 million contract.
6 or 7 per year?
6 or 7 total, so it's like 3.5.
Oh, okay.
Which is, I think it's kind of an overpay for a pretty old point guard.
I think they just want him for 3-point shooting.
Yeah.
You know, they also made moves with like Ben Gordon in the past, and obviously the Channing Frye deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, their losses, they gave up. Well, they picked up Shabazz Napier for nothing. They literally gave Mo Harkless away for nothing.
Yep.
Kyle O'Quinn obviously signed with the Knicks. Luke Ridnour got traded and is now in purgatory somewhere. And Willie Green.
He will be missed.
Yeah, this consistency of Willie Green. So breaking down their starting lineup, you got Elfrid Payton continuing as the starting point guard, Victor Oladipo, Tobias Harris, fresh off signing his contract. Power forward, I went away from what a lot of people are saying. A lot of people are saying Channing Frye is going to start for them still. I kind of want Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon showed that he can play in the Summer League. And honestly, for the 3-point shooting that Channing Frye supposedly gives his team, he kind of lacked that last year, and it didn't help them all that much. So I think you just should give Aaron Gordon starters minutes. Let him run
spacing
wild.
is going to be horrible.
Aaron Gordon was shooting threes in Summer League.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe he's a bit better at it now. Tobias Harris can shoot. Maybe Oladipo worked on his game a little bit more. So you just have your point guard and center that can't shoot. And center, obviously, Vucevic.
Yep.
Hezonja should also see big minutes on this team.
Right.
Just because they lack that shooting in the one spot. You kind of shift Oladipo over to the one, maybe bring Hezonja in. Something to look for.
They have a pretty good bench, considering like if they start Frye, they'd have Hezonja and Gordon on the bench, which is a really exciting second unit.
No, definitely.
And Shabazz Napier as well.
Well, yeah, I guess Shabazz.
He was rated an 80 in 2K15, so...
Right.
Moving on to our stat, what did you have as the major stat for the Orlando Magic this season?
Part of me wanted to go with 3-point attempts, just because, 3-point made, 3-point percentage, but I have to go with free throws for this one. Free throws attempted versus field goals attempted for them, they were dead last. They did not attempt many free throws per game. They only attempted 19. They only made about 14. And they also shot one of the worst percentages at 73%. So I kind of want to see a lot of improvement from that. I know Peyton's just not a shooter. He's more of a mini Rondo than Dennis Schroeder when it comes to that. He's a defender. He's a passer. He's not really a shooter in any way. But I'm kind of hoping that the Orlando team, like that coaching staff, has found a way to kind of fix his jump shot maybe. Give him a little bit better, even just from free throw and mid-range. That would be really nice.
Yeah, for sure.
All the other players,
Yeah.
they continue. I think they'll be fine. I think Payne's the one that brings them down a lot in that department.
Yeah. I think Oladipo did make some strides last season, but there's still a lot to be desired.
Yeah.
As for my stat, the Magic have 11 players 25 years old or younger. And that was kind of like an arbitrary stat for me. I really didn't want to mention their 3-point shooting. Like, they shot it at a good percentage last season. They were about middle of the pack. They shot at 35% from 3 last season. So maybe that issue is a little bit too talked about. But they have 11 players 25 years old or younger. I feel like Orlando's a little bit forgotten when you compare them to the other teams that have been rebuilding for the past couple of years. Ever since that Dwight Howard trade, the Magic have been stockpiling young guys. Whether they all fit or not, that has yet to be seen, but they have almost as good a core as Minnesota, Philadelphia, or Denver. I really like having the core of Peyton, Oladipo, and now you're adding Aaron Gordon from last year, and Hezonja should be pretty good as well. I think they're only going to get better as time goes on, and considering that they're probably going to get a top 7 or 8 lottery pick this season. They're going to add another young piece to the core. And whether it's 3 or 4 years away, I'm pretty hopeful for the Magic. Or if they trade some of their guys for another big star, they have a lot of assets they can use going forward.
Yeah. So big picture for this team. What do you see for this season specifically?
For this season specifically, I'm definitely going to see improvement from them. We didn't really mention that they hired Scott Skiles as their new coach and got rid of Jacques Vaughn. And Scott Skiles has a reputation for being a hard ass. Like, a lot of the time, Skiles gets his teams to compete. He gets his teams to, play all 48 minutes. And that's what's needed with a bunch of young guys.
Yeah, obviously, though, the deficiency with Skiles, he's a great coach for an established team. He can get you to be competitive, but he can't get any development out of the team. So I don't know what to think about that. We saw that issue in Milwaukee, obviously, past couple of years, and in a bunch of his previous stints before then.
Yeah, I think he's going to get them to win more, but development-wise, we really don't know. He doesn't have the track record to, really develop a star. I mean, adding Mario Hezonja was another good thing this team did over the offseason. I think there's really a lot of hype for him to be a really great off-the-bench scorer for now and perhaps a starter. He's really confident, and I'm really hoping that he can mesh well with all of the non-shooters on this team.
Yeah, and I mean, even if he just fills in that super sub role for a while, I think he'll do amazingly, sort of like Ginobili. I think there's a very good comparison there. They're both amazing three-point shooters. Hezonja is a great young piece to have. He is confident, almost to a flaw, and rightly or wrongly, people are comparing him, saying he has the J.R. Smith swag to him. I don't like that comparison. I feel like he has his own swag to him. J.R. Smith is kind of too crazy and weird. I wouldn't want it. I like my comparison of Ginobili. I'd want him to have that kind of poise, you're an erratic wild card, you know. Ginobili obviously came into a structured system in Popovich's lineup and caused havoc, which made Popovich kind of scared, but at the same time, it proved to work for the Spurs when you needed that kick in the second unit. And Hezonja has all the abilities to create that kick that the Magic are lacking right now.
Either that or Marco Bellinelli, who knows?
Oh, comparing him to Marco Bellinelli?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. That's his floor. For this season, though, I see it's just going to be another year of developing the team. They are deep, considering they're supposed to be in the midst of rebuilding, but they don't really have the depth to really challenge the other teams in the league, especially not for a title. They're another one of those teams, though, that I feel are going to be up in a fight for that 8 seed in the East. There's a lot of teams out there. Obviously, only one team's going to get the spot, but I feel the East has a lot of competitors for that spot right now, because everyone's kind of making strides and trying to develop, except for the Sixers, because why bother?
Yeah.
So, going on from that excitement level.
I had them at a 4.5. I originally had them at a 3.5, and then I watched some preseason highlights with this team, and they've been really, really exciting. In the past, I haven't really been too big of a fan of Scott Skiles, but I think the players on this team really makes up for the hard-assness and really set nature of Scott Skiles' teams. Having Gordon, Oladipo, Payton, Vucevic, Hezonja, and all these other young pieces makes them a lot more interesting. You're going to see a lot of alley-oops. You're going to see a lot of really erratic shots from Mario Hezonja, but it's going to be a fun year. I think the only thing taking them down a notch for me is, again, Scott Skiles being the coach and the growing pains of being a young team. There's going to be some ugly basketball from them this year for sure, but they're going to be pretty exciting.
Yeah, I have them at a 6.0. For those same reasons. Young players, my weakness, my kryptonite. They have a lot of them, as you said, 20.
I thought it was Crazy Girls.
Second weakness, young players. So 6.5. I hate you. They're fast, they're athletic, they're young, they're developing. They're going to be really cool to watch this year and see them grow. And for years to come, they're going to get better. They also have 3 go-to scorers in the clutch now, in Tobias Harris, Victor Oladipo, and Nikola Vucevic. So I feel like they're going to have a lot of times where these guys are going to keep them in games. They're going to be a lot more competitive, I feel, with like the tougher teams.
Right.
Also, Hezonja can probably be considered one of their clutch go-to scorers, or at least he thinks he's one of them already.
Yeah, he'll definitely take the last shot, but whether he makes it or not, or if it's a good shot,
whether or not he was supposed to take that shot, that's another question.
Yeah.
Moving on, what do you see for this team?
I think they're going to be a little better than last year. I see them having more than 25 wins, around 30 wins, but I'm not as optimistic as you with them. I don't see them really going for a playoff spot. I think they're going to be a little bit better, but definitely not sniffing the playoffs just now.
Okay, that's positive. I mean, I see them. I think they get 30 to 35 wins. I can see like a 5-win, 6-win increase, and honestly, even though that shouldn't be enough to consider them a good team, I still think they're young and growing. I think that can be enough for them to start challenging for the 8 seed in the East. Yeah, I don't think if they get into the playoffs, they don't put up a fight. They don't have the ability to right now. They're too young, they're too shallow in the roster, experience-wise at least. So here's looking forward to more years of them growing.
Right.
So I guess that takes us over to social media.
All right. So we've been talking about Mario Hezonja quite a bit this podcast. I guess we're going to talk a little bit more about him. So in a preseason game, Mario Hezonja threw a bounce pass alley-oop to Aaron Gordon. That pretty much encapsulates the whole Mario Hezonja experience. I mean, he's going to take some irrational shots, but he's going to be really exciting for this team. Who do you think is the most exciting player on this team?
Most exciting?
Yeah.
I mean, guards, obviously, in this league, in modern league at least, they're always a lot more exciting than the big men because they're faster, they dunk harder, they shoot daggers for 3 points. You know, it's tough. So, while Vucevic is the guy on this team, he's obviously their best chance at getting an all-star, unless Oladipo takes a huge step this season. I would have to go with Oladipo or Mario Hezonja. And just for that pass, I mean, that perfectly sums up why I said the Ginobili thing. That's a young Ginobili pass. If you look up tape from Ginobili in his first couple of years in the league, he was throwing stuff like that. He still tries to throw stuff like that. He's just too old and can't get it there anymore. But Mario Hezonja has the chance to become something great with that confidence.
Not really too big of a fan of Tobias Harris.
Not a fan of Tobias Harris. I mean, like, I like him, but I'm not sold that he's an exciting player in this team. He's more of a Carmelo Anthony on a team that's trying to be a fast-paced team. He's kind of a slow-down, post-up, dribble, shoot.
Yeah, I think he could be like the only guy that really doesn't fit well with an up-tempo style. He's pretty slow, and he's not too great of an up-tempo player. He's just there. I think he's a good option, like, to take a last shot and for him to get a bucket for you if you're in a drought, but him being your first option wouldn't be ideal for me.
I don't know. I feel like they could have built through a draft more. I don't know if signing him to that deal was the best thing. I think you should have let him go to Detroit, possibly.
Or New York.
Well, I mean, Detroit was going to sign him. Obviously, I would have loved to have him in New York, but Detroit wanted to take Harris, and the Magic took him back. So, I mean, I think he fits Detroit's pace a lot better, but I don't know. He definitely earned his contract. I'm not questioning his ability. He put up great numbers for the Magic. I do question his fit.
Same.
But, yeah, I would have to go with Hezonja just because we don't know Hezonja. We don't know what he's all about, if this is sustainable, if he's going to be throwing passes like this in regular season games, if he can hit clutch shots. You know, like, he's a huge enigma to us. Like, yeah, we saw him play internationally, but I kind of want to see more of that. You know, there wasn't a huge sample size for us to watch.
Right.
So,
anything else to add?
But, no, that's it for me.
Same.
All right. Well, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you next time.
Word.